What's up, guys? I have a special treat for you today in a Batman manga. Now, I've never seen or read a Batman manga up until recently. And here we have Batman Child of Dreams, written by Kia Asamiya, with the English adaptation done by Max Allan Collins. Now, picked it up in my local comic book store, obviously opened up and was genuinely surprised by the artwork, right? Because it was your standard, oh my gosh, this is Batman in anime format. And I had to pick it up. Now, quick down and dirty summary of the story, right? There's a Japanese news crew headed by a young lady named Yuko, who's the primary newscaster, and her producer, Nagai, are in Gotham trying to complete a documentary on the Dark Knight himself, as well as hoping to score an exclusive interview with the Batman. Now, if you would ask me, if I was their boss, I'd have said, yeah, that's just not going to happen. But they have high hopes. Now, on the first night they're there in Gotham, well, things immediately go right into the toilet because Harvey Dent attacks and takes a bunch of people hostage. Now, they're first on the scene as far as, main characters are concerned, but Batman's right on their coattails. But they also notice Dent's acting a little weird. But Batman kicks his ass, throws him in the cop car, and Yuko's like, hey, can we get the interview, blah, 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 blah. He's like, nah, don't do that. But even he understands that something is afoot. Now, that very thing that is afoot is Two-Face himself, because this is not the real Two-Face. The real Two-Face is in Arkham Asylum, still locked up, doing his thing, flipping his coin, right? Enjoying both halves of his pie, I'm sure. I don't know. I just figured pie would be something he was eating. But the Two-Face that he fought ends up suffering from instant mummification. Now, that was a wild death to take a look at for sure. Now, it turns out there is a drug being supplied to fans of Gothamite villains, right? Gotham's Rogues Gallery, Batman's Rogues Gallery. He runs and combats the Penguin doppelganger, a Riddler doppelganger, and even a Joker doppelganger. So the Joker one was almost uncanny even for Batman, to the point where he had to go to the real Joker as if, it was Hannibal Lecter, and the real Joker was like, you should kill him. Probably just kill him. Batman obviously says no. But at the same time, all this is happening, right? Yuko's doing her investigative journalism stuff. She's basically on the scene every single time, to the point where she even gets taken hostage by the Joker doppelganger. Now, obviously, Batman rescues her, and he's like, hey, I understand what you're doing, but you're in danger doing all this stuff. And he also realizes something is off about her, but he can't really figure out what it is. And it's not so much that she's behind it, but the same time that she popped up, all these crimes started happening. Well, it turns out, not only are fans of the villains being turned into doppelgangers, well, Batman runs into his own doppelganger in the form of Nagai. And it turns out he's been supplying some of these guys, and he wanted to live his dream of being his idol, the Batman. They go toe-to-toe. Batman beats him down, even though he's, souped up on venom as well as some other drugs, but he's not actually a total doppelganger. But he's using a similar drug to give him a lot of the same advantages that these doppelgangers had. Now, they end up going to Japan. Yuko essentially introduces him to, Bruce Wayne to her uncle, Mr. Tomoko. And it turns out Mr. Tomoko, is a little obsessed with the Batman. You think I'm obsessed with the Batman? This guy is next level. It turns out he's been supplying these drugs to essentially experiment so that he could become the Batman, supplant the real Batman, and live his dream of being the Batman. I know, I didn't think I could fit the word Batman, the name Batman, so many times in one sentence, but you know what? We're here. Now, that was a real down and dirty, assessment, summary of Child of Dreams, but I will say it was definitely interesting. I definitely enjoyed it, even though it wasn't a huge, it's definitely not on the level of Hush or The Dark Knight Returns, not Rises. I mean, the movie's great too, but it's not on that level, but still definitely an enjoyable read. And I would highly recommend it, right? The artwork, honestly, is fantastic, right? It's Batman in anime format. What can go wrong? I definitely enjoyed how it was kind of Kia Asamiya's love letter to the Batman mythos. Yeah, he introduces a few original characters, but it's essentially like taking Batman. Obviously, he puts him in Tokyo, but he's like, oh, this is like, there's a couple parts in the book where they talk about how Batman is seen around the world, and we don't really get to see a lot of that, right? Because Batman's usually secluded in Gotham. Yeah, he's doing his thing with the Justice League occasionally, but for the most part, at least in this version of Batman, the world sees Batman as, you know, a superhero, but people really don't know that much about him, right? So it's kind of cool to see how other people react to him and how they feel about him, right? Definitely a very interesting read. I would highly recommend it, if at the very least, just to say you were able to read a Batman manga. I know there's a couple more out there. I have yet to get my hands on them, but again, take a look at it. Artwork was great. Story, so-so, right? I would give the story probably a 3 to maybe 3.25 out of 5, right? Artwork, for me, 4.5 out of 5, just because I love the manga adaptation. Can't say enough good things about it. But overall, just to see Batman in that format for me was a huge treat. So I highly recommend it. I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you haven't yet, check out my Creature Commandos video. It just uploaded a couple days ago. Other than that, if you enjoyed your time here, like, share, and subscribe. I love you guys. I appreciate it. I will see you in the next video. Peace out.